Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's ReziduDesigns here, and I'm here with a quick tutorial, and this will be my first one on this channel. And I'm pretty excited for it, and pretty much what I'm going to be showing you today is how to create your own text logo. And what you're looking at on the screen right now is a text logo that I just created. It didn't take very long at all, and maybe about 15 minutes. It's not real hard to do. It's just about making it your own, something that someone else doesn't already have, and getting a logo for yourself. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about with text logos is whenever you're making a text logo, don't just take someone's text and just use that as your logo. That's actually copyright infringement, and you don't want to do that because that's kind of cheesy. So definitely edit it and make it your own. And I'm going to show you how to do this with just the simple words text, and but you can do this with really any word as long as you use the correct fonts and edit it together correctly. So first things first is this is what the text looked like before, and this is the logo down here. And the font I'm using, which I suggest for all text logos because it's a great font, is Vermin Vibes, and you can go to dafont.com and just type in Vermin Vibes, and there's a bunch of them. You can download any of them. They're all pretty good to use except for some of these. You want to stay away from like the curvy fonts. You want to use real blocky stuff for this. And I'm just using the normal Vermin Vibes. Excuse me. Oh, jeez. Okay, so let's get into it. Go ahead and turn that off. Turn this on. Whenever you're making your logo, you want to make a huge document. Right now, this document is 5,000 by 3,000, 5,000 long, 3,000 high. And the reason you want to use such a big document is because whenever you shrink a picture or text like this, once it's been edited, it doesn't pixelate as bad as if you blow up an image. So if you start real small and you try and blow up that image, it's going to get pixelated. But if you shrink it down, it should keep its quality pretty well. And text will not get blurry at all until you rasterize it. Once you rasterize it, it'll get blurry. So we're going to take this, we're going to make this a little bit bigger, and we're going to get started. And pretty much, just to keep, for time's sake, I'm going to use this pre-made logo already as a little template. And that's good. So first thing you do whenever making these types of logos is you want to go ahead and take your text, double click it, pull up your character tab, and VA with the triangle spacing or the arrows left and right will change how much spacing is between your text. You want to put probably about, on this font, you want to do like 100. And the reason for that is you're actually going to cut these letters out because you'll understand as it goes on. It's kind of hard to explain why you do these things until you actually do it. So go ahead and get your pen tool and just cut your letters out. And you just want to, once you pen tool around the letter, make your selection, hit OK, hit Control or click on that layer, hit Control C, Control V, and that'll copy and paste that letter. And then you just take that letter and drag it into place and keep it aligned. And make sure you label your letters, it'll make things a lot easier for you. And repeat the process for the next 4 letters. E. Just so you know, this might help you, the shortcut for the move tool, which is what I'm using right now, is V, I think. Yes, V. And pen tool is P. And we got the last couple ones. And that's why we needed to space them out, so we had room to cut these out. Once again, make sure you try your best to realign them so you can put them back together in a decent manner. They're not all over the place. And the T. Okay, so once you're done with that, you can pretty much turn off your original text layer and turn on your separate letters. And what we're going to do is pretty much just put them together and cut them up as much as possible to make them your own and creative and representing yourself. So it's not just that text, it's your own logo. And as you can see, these four letters are not, what's the word? Unrasterized, which probably isn't the correct terminology for that. But this, as you can see, you can still rasterize it. So these, as you make them bigger and smaller a bunch of times, will get pixelated and whatnot. So you don't want to like do that a bunch of times because it will mess it up. And so let's get started. First thing, I like to work with whichever letters are easiest to put together. And for me, this is going to be the T and the X on the right side. And pretty much all I'm going to do. Oh, almost forgot. Whenever I'm doing stuff like this, I try and do every other letter a different color to make things easier to put together. So go ahead and just double click on your E layer. Click color overlay. I like a dark red. Change your opacity to 50%. Do the same thing with the T. Change it to 50%. And the reasoning for this is so there's a clear difference between your letters when you're putting them together so you can line them up properly. And you're pretty much just going to take a letter, drag it over, line it up, and there's your first letter already done. So your T and X are together, like up here. Now, from back here, there's a little like line difference you can see here. That's all stuff you can actually go out, like right here. Here's a good example. Here, the farther away you are, you can see that little difference. The closer you are, you can see the difference right here. And what that is just the opacity of the edge of the letters changing. And the only way to fix that is to actually take an eraser, change it to to mode block, and you would click on that layer, whichever one it would be. And you would erase this line right here, this like 50% opacity line, and that would take care of that. But we're not going to deal with that right now for time's sake. And let's keep going. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect the E and the X. And for this, you kind of have to get creative because if you just take the E, and you try and you can change the order. It just gets kind of confusing sometimes. If you take the E and just try and overlay it like we did with the T, you can see it's not going to look right at all, regardless of how we put it. And I actually got kind of creative on the last one and found a nice way to connect them without it getting real goofy looking. So if you're using the word text just for practice, let's say, you lay the bottom bar of the E over the X. And we're gonna make this like a an E, like a capital E you would see normally. You're gonna grab your marquee tool, which is shortcut M. Click on the E, go to about the middle of the E, highlight it. While selecting the E layer, you hit delete. I did not hit delete, or I did hit delete, but I accidentally went all over the place. Hit Control D, which is your deselect. And go ahead and hit your marquee tool again, which is M, select layer E. Then about halfway between this layer that you cut here and the end, you're going to want to select another part of that E. While selecting the E layer, hit delete. And it gives it like a classic E look. As you know, a capital E, it's like the bottom line is the biggest, the middle line is the smallest, and top line's a little bit smaller than the biggest one, than the bottom line, but it's still bigger than the middle one. And that connects those two. And then we're just going to connect the T at the end, this one. Shortcut C or V. Oh, I'm getting all confused. Control C will copy, Control V will paste. V is just the shortcut for your move tool. And we're going to drag this over and see if we connect it. And lucky for us, with this font and these letters, the T and the E are the same size, so you can put them together. And you can go ahead and clear your layer styles. And there we go. There's our text logo. Not too hard, pretty simple for the most part. Like I said, you can do this with any font. The easiest is a blocky style font, and the shorter the word, the easier it is. Obviously, certain letters are a lot easier to go together. For instance, if you try to do B, it'd be a little bit tougher because of this font. You see how it comes down here? It would be a real pain in the ass to actually put it together and get it to fit and look correct. And it's possible though. It just depends on how much time you want to take. So if you want a real quick way to make a logo, and it's just real simple for you and whatnot, just definitely check this out and try this out. And I just want to go ahead and thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.